former quarterback of the year, Fernando Mendoza. There's that year, which we'll dive into some of these numbers. It is one of the best single seasons any athlete has ever had. I mean, out of obscurity. And they go 16-0, win the national championship. He wins the Heisman, and he's the #1 overall pick. He's got Mike Washington in the backfield. Quick setup and throw. And there was contact and no flag as Jalen Naylor, the former Viking, was the target. And timing the route. No connection in 2nd and 10.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching Fernando Mendoza here tonight. And as I mentioned, watching him last week, I thought there was a lot of good things to build upon. He's going to get a lot of action here in this game. And some of the things that he hasn't done a lot of in college, in fact, very little, is under center, which is where he is now. But all in all, he looks very comfortable taking the ball from underneath the center. First, now they got to get the snap count down.
That's Ian Thomas, a veteran tight end. It's 7 first-half penalties last week.
All start, number 80, offense. 5-yard penalty. Check it out.
Go into, for me, for everybody, why it's a big deal, why it's so hard for a college quarterback, in this case Fernando Mendoza, to go up under center. What does that change for an offense if he's able to do it?
Well, the thing about it is these guys play so much in shotgun. That's almost exclusively what quarterbacks do in college. So the footwork is a little bit different. They have to get their own play action from under center. They have to back to the line of scrimmage, and all that is foreign from their college days.
Here's a catch in the first down. And that is a rocket from the right-handed Mendoza, and a 22-yard completion for the first down of the night.
It was an outstanding play. It's really the only place that Mendoza could put it. He has a defender who's right here, and he's got to work it off of him. And so he throws it off of his ear, and Naylor recognizes it, and he's able to go make a good catch on a ball that had a little something on it. So good timing, and Naylor is a guy they picked up in free agency and someone that they're expecting a lot out of.
Handoff is to the rookie Mike Washington. And touchdown saving tackle made by
to set up the Las Vegas Raiders, and they're hoping that he can get a good part of the 1-2 punch behind Aston Jetty.
Play action from Mendoza, and he comes back. Mendoza trying to track him down, and cannot. Pick 6 for the Texans in the game. Take a little more deep dive into the life and young career of Mendoza. Number 72 rated pocket passer, coming out of high school in Miami, committed to Yale first and signed with Cal, then transferred to Indiana for the 2025 season, won the Heisman, the national championship, and went 16-0, and was the first overall pick by the Raiders. He talked about his game last week. In week 1 against Arizona, he said, my feet were a little fast and out of control, and I need to learn to throw the ball away. It's not there, don't force it. I'm not saying that falls into that category, but we'll see how he bounces back after the 80-yard pick six. Here is Washington, who is brought down in the backfield by Solomon Byrd, and a loss of 4.
Well, Joe, we're going to see how Fernando responds to the field, right? But when he came over the sideline after throwing the pick 6, you can see Max Crosby, one of the first players to come over and talk to him. He told him, look, that's football, and gave him a little embrace. He then went right back out on the field. So you can see the leadership of Crosby already on display. Offense, defense, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy ride for Crosby, too. Instead of he was traded to the Ravens and then sent back.
He's the only veteran that's killing him not to be on the field right now.
Second down and 14. Washington gets 4 yards back. Jalen Smith on the tackle, third down and long coming.
You know, you mentioned the year that Fernando Mendoza had last year, the Indiana Hoosiers, and what a job he did. And so Coach Signetti. But you know, you look at Fernando Mendoza, the first 2 years, or the 2 years he played there at Cal, didn't really do a lot. I mean, he had some good seasons, but nothing would have anticipated the expectations that he had last year and how well he played. He ended up being the number 1 overall pick.
They're back at 9. Gets connect with Jalen Miller. Pressure by Jadarian Clowney, who is back in Houston. Former first overall pick back in 2014, and he got to Mendoza.
And he makes a good move, and that's a good addition for this Houston Texans defense. As pass rush specialist coming back home after being the first overall pick. Mendoza, he steps up in the pocket, he's hanging right there, and knows he's going to get hit. He delivers a pretty good ball. There was contact at the top of the route. He probably kept it from being a completion.
Beautiful punt by A.J. Cole. And checks up inside the 5. And will be drowned just inside the 5. The flag comes down at the end of the play. That is a
react much quicker. And that goes on the inside of the field when you misplace the ball, as well as on the outside.
Well, that's a whoops. Kick out of bounds by Fernando.
Kickoff short of the ladies on number 15. Receiving team will take possession at the 40-yard line. First down, Las Vegas.
Hey, don't forget week 2 of the NFL preseason continues. Don't miss the Jets taking on the Steelers, followed by Packers and Broncos tomorrow starting at 7 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network, also streaming on the ESPN app. Mendoza will go back to work. He is not playing behind 3-time Pro Bowl center Tyler Linderbaum or Spencer Burford or Colton Miller or DJ Blaze. The first choice offensive line for the Raiders. He's sitting this one out. Here's a handoff. Washington gets to the edge, stays in bounds, and picks up almost 10. Good strong run. He got 9, and you can see in a hurry why they like number 30.
Yeah, he's an impressive guy when you consider his size. He's 230 pounds, and he's got breakaway speed. So it's rare when you have that kind of combination of power and home run threat. And yeah, that's Mike Washington. And I know with Clint Kubiak, you look at last year with Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker and being able to use 2 backs, that's what you prefer.
Kubiak wants to pick up the first down, and he will. The only knock on the game for Mike Washington fumbles. 13 fumbles over the last 4 years, something he's got to clean up with a guy that ran a 4.340 at the combine. And is as big as he is, 6'1", 223. There's a lot to like.
For sure there is. There's a lot to like. And everyone's talking about Fernando Mendoza and the expectations for him, and rightfully so. But there's some good young players up here that John Spytek, the GM, drafted.
Three straight handoffs at Washington. Any day like this time. A gain of 1, and Jake Hall was in there to make the stop. You look at the draft class, and they added a lot of talent, including a guy at the beginning of the 4th round in Jermod McCoy, who was theoretically a first-round talent until 2 knee surgeries made him miss action for 18 months. But if he can stay healthy, he's got all the talent in the world. So they've added players. They've got Brock Bowers on offense. They've added to that offensive line. They've got Ashton Genty. Here's Lobe. Backfield. The tackle gets a first down. And Dylan got 10.
You mentioned Ashton Genty, and a guy who was a rookie last year. He was a 6th overall pick. And you take a look at that last play, and someone who I think is going to have an exceptional year. And a big part of that, of course, this offensive line that they've rebuilt. They get Colton Miller back at left tackle. He missed most of last year. But every time Ashton Genty got the ball last year, he was getting hit in the back. you know, and I think it was a fair representation of what he's capable of doing, and yet he still had 1,300 yards on the screen.
Nice throw and catch. Grab is made and fighting his way inside. With forward progress, it looks like he's still going to be short. Got 9, and that might very well end the first quarter. Mendoza delivered a strike, got hit after letting the ball go. It'll be 2nd down and 1 when we start quarter number 2. With the Raiders inside the Houston 30 and trailing by 17. 366, 2 playoff appearances, and now some Clint. 39-year-old first-time NFL head coach. Last year, the offensive coordinator for your Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
The year they put together and what a job he did as the offensive coordinator, getting that good play. And Sam Darnold, who had been good the year before in Minnesota, he comes out, played lights out. Really a great year for everybody.
And those are kids. He's in trouble. And down it goes. Rips into the ground by Caden McDonald. The 2nd-round pick and a rookie from Ohio State. Play action and a loss on the rudder.
Well, it's just a miscommunication up front by this offensive line, and he just gets a direct shot at Fernando, and there's nothing he can do here. He doesn't even have time to try to escape, get out of the pocket. The good thing is he protects the football and just takes his punishment.
If this offensive line can't protect Mendoza better than that, plan of playing him the entire first half may go up in smoke. And this offensive line was brutal last year. They allowed 64 sacks, most in the league. And this is not the starting unit, but that means
with Clint Kubiak and Rick Dennison, one of the best, one of the most decorated offensive line coaches in the history of our league. But that was not good.
Throwing middle to Ian Thomas, and that's going to be a 4th down. He had just 5 on 3rd down and 12, and the field goal didn't go wrong. And that means that Matt Gay, who is in a competition for a job with the Raiders, is going to attempt a 52-yard try here to put Las Vegas on the board. Matt Gay has bounced around in his career, not trying it with the Raiders. Kansei Matsuzawa is his competition so far in camp. He has been hot and cold. It's not good. Oh, the kick is perfect. And a 52-yard gain to put the Raiders on the board. So we came on wondering how C.J. Stroud will get along here tonight.
Remember the cool moment that we saw after Fernando threw the pick 6, you came up to him and just encouraged him. What did you want to get across to him in that moment?
Yeah, it's football. You know, it's not going to be perfect. You know, he's a rookie. You got to go through, some ups and downs, and that's part of the game. It's how you respond. So that's basically what I just told him. Just keep being yourself and keep playing.
We're going to see him out here right now. What have been your overall impressions of Mendoza, just even as a guy in the locker room?
Oh, it's been great. You know, you come in as a rookie and you got to start all the way back at the bottom. So he's had the right attitude. He's working his ass off. He's in here every single day, encouraging dudes and just working. That's all you can ask for.
We know your offseason was crazy. You traded away. You ended up a Raider once again. When you think about how all that transpired, and then now knowing that you're on the cusp of the season, how does it motivate you even more than you're already motivated?
I love it. You know, it's all part of the story, and that's life. You know, I mean, it's how you respond to things. It's the same thing, you know, Fernando's situation. You go big, you go out there, go get some points on the board. It's the same thing. You know, I work every single day to be the best version of myself. And so I can't complain. You know, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be things that you can't anticipate, but it's all about how you respond. You know, I've gone through a lot of adversity in my life, and every time I go through big adversity, I come out better every single time. So I know I'm excited. I know I'm healthy, and I can't wait to go out there and put on the show.
Yeah, opposing quarterbacks beware. All right, we know you demand excellence out of everybody, including yourself. What needs to happen for this defense to play to your standards?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to style of play. You know, what you put on the film. You know, there's X's and O's and there's things you can draw, but ultimately it comes down to guys wanting more than the other dude. So that's as a defense, you got to have 11 guys hunting from start to finish, and you got to be able to literally go to a point where it feels like your heart's going to stop and then take another step and then take another snap and then go out there and make a play and just go out there and play for each other. So we got a lot of work to do, and I'm super excited about how we're coming together.
I know Rob Leonard, your new DC, shares that same philosophy. Why was he the right guy for the job?
Sorry.
Rob Leonard, it's loud in here. Rob Leonard being the right guy for the job for you guys at DC.
Yeah, I mean, he was an incredible D-line coach. He's been in a lot of different systems, and he's just a great leader, man. You know, he's a guy that loves football. He's in the building, just like I'm in the building. We walk in together, and we leave, you know, at the same time. He's one of those guys that's all football all the time, and I think he's going to do an incredible job, and I think he's doing an incredible job. So it's like anything, you know, you come in with the right mindset, you put in the work, and the results are going to follow.
You're the heart and soul of this team in a lot of ways. You've seen a lot of iterations of this team. What excites you about the future with Clint Kubiak as a head coach?
Yeah, you know, Clint is another guy, all the time. He doesn't have the biggest personality in the world, he'll tell you that himself, but he's real, you know, he loves football, and he knows the game so well, and he knows what it's supposed to look like. He has a championship pedigree. Obviously, being in Houston, his dad, you got to see him, you know, lead a lot of great football teams, and I just feel like when you have somebody that is about all the right things and that puts football first and is all about the players, you're going to have a chance to go out there and win. So we have a lot of work to do across the board, but I think he's the right guy for the job. So.
All right, we're going to let you go after this. We know why you're not playing tonight, but how much does it feel you to not be out there?
Oh my God, it's been a long time coming. I haven't played a football game since December of last year in this stadium. So it's kind of crazy, nostalgic being back here. But right now, being able to go against those guys and go to practice, have a blast, and we're almost here. It's almost football time.
Can't wait to see you out there. Thanks, Max.
So thank you so much.
Joe.
Yeah, right. Martis, she's talking to one of the best defensive players in the league. And while we're talking to 98, number 15, Man the Warrior, as he is known, nickname-wise, has put together a tremendous drive. He's completed 6 straight passes, including a long one on 3rd and long for 18.
Third and long was outstanding to the fellow rookie Malik Benson, who they're real high on. He has an opportunity to really step up and steal a lot of playing time. 7-man protection, he hung in there and delivered strong.
And that's what he wants to do. Nothing there. He gets hit at the end of the play, pressured by Naquan Jones, and just drop it off, dump it off, throw it into the ground. And it's 2nd down and 10, and that's just the 2nd incompletion after the interception. And that breaks that string of 6 straight completions for Mendoza.
I think when you watch him in last week when he was able to get out of the pocket, we all remember the big run that he made last year in the playoffs, and him just being gritty and doing whatever he has to do, sacrificing his body. He did that last week, and it's hard to take that away from a guy in a preseason game, but they're trying to protect him from himself as much as possible.
Here's Washington over the right side, got hit, went forward for a couple of yards. Jamal Hill made the stop, and it's 3rd down. After a gain of 7, it'll be 3rd and 7.
Joe, watching him as first of all, he had a different offensive coordinator and system every year in college. And so now he comes to the pros, another new coordinator, Ron plays with Kubiak, and then a new system. And he's kind of had a little bit of a taste of everything that someone could throw at him. There's obviously things that he hasn't been as experienced in, but super smart. He gets through his progressions, and he usually always knows where his outlets and his checkdowns are.
There's a drop. Benson. That had 1st down written all over it. And Benson, who both Mendoza and Kubiak said could be number 1 in this league, just dropped.
And that's a perfect throw. And that's some of the accuracy. If he catches that ball, nobody really talks a lot about the ball placement. But if Benson's able to catch this, he has an opportunity to take it up the sidelines with his speed and turn that into not only a 1st down, heck, he might even score.
That was a good throw and a good drive. It comes to an end and brings A.J. Cole, punter. I've never been more biased in my broadcasting. He's sitting in the temptation of the Las Vegas Strip. He said it's like the boogeyman. A lot of people talk about the Strip like you don't want to go there. It's like when you're a kid,
you're trick-or-treating and there's the haunted house. You're not trying to go over there. So he's kind of staying away. Now he did go to the Sphere and watch the presentation of the Wizard of Oz.
So he has at least been on the strip.
He's been on the strip. And he said, you know, there's movies and things. I'm like, here's Washington where they catch a turn and a timeout. As Mike Washington gets 9, and there are 24 seconds left. And one timeout remaining for Kubiak, who wants to see how his rookie gets him down the field.
I do think this offense, I'm a big fan of the system and those teams that run it, and I just feel like you couldn't ask for a better offensive play caller for this young quarterback and to put him in a position. Now, as we mentioned, there's things that he's got to do, and the biggest one being underneath center and getting used to the play action game. But from what I've seen, he's already feeling really good about that. But they'll marry the play action game with the run game. A lot of good things within Kubiak's offense to help any quarterback. We've seen that, but especially a rookie in Fernando Mendoza.
Second down and 1. It's aired out downfield, and it's not there. Pass was intended for Brandon Johnson. Will bring it third down and 1 with 17 seconds left.
Yeah, pretty good call there on 2nd and 1, and you've got an opportunity. I'm sure Kubiak's thinking Houston's believing they're just going to try to get him the first down. Instead, they take a deep shot. Now they've got 3rd and 1, and if they can't move the chains with very little time, but still with a timeout in their pocket.
Mendoza steps into it, able to complete, and now the ball's knocked out before the catch was secured by Malik Benson. And a good defensive play was made. That is Tremont Smith who knocked it out. That was going to be a completion, first down, and a timeout. Instead, it's a punt.
Yeah, Malik Benson, you see when he has it in these receivers in this league, especially, as soon as you catch it, he'll learn. You've got to immediately tuck it, secure it. He's a little nonchalant. It gets knocked out. Nice play defensively. That's a couple of drops now by Malik Benson, and they're still looking for someone to emerge that's going to carry the load as the wide receivers. It's going to run through Brock Bowers, but they just don't have a true one. Trey Tucker kind of became that guy last year by